Worldwide, 1 in 13 people suffer from anxiety, making it the most common mental health disorder globally. It's an unseen pandemic, silently affecting millions of lives every day. It doesn't discriminate. It can take hold of anyone, regardless of age, gender, or socioeconomic status. This makes it an issue that we need to pay serious attention to. Anxiety isn't just about feeling worried or nervous. It's a complex web of fear, unease, and distress that can make even the simplest tasks feel like monumental challenges. It's like being stuck in a never-ending loop of what-ifs, a constant state of expecting the worst, even when there's no apparent reason to do so. It's an invisible battle, one that's fought in the mind, often undetected by the outside world. It's a battle that can impact every facet of a person's life, from personal relationships to professional performance, and even physical health. Anxiety can make it hard to concentrate, disrupt sleep, cause headaches, and even lead to chronic health conditions over time. Yet, despite the heavy toll it takes, anxiety is often misunderstood, ignored, and stigmatized. It's frequently brushed off as just being overly worried or too sensitive, without recognizing the profound impact it can have on a person's quality of life. It's high time we change this narrative. Understanding anxiety is the first step towards conquering it. It's about recognizing that it's not just a phase or something that one can snap out of. It's about acknowledging that anxiety is real, valid, and treatable. We need to foster a culture of empathy, compassion, and understanding so that those who are silently suffering can feel safe to speak up and seek help. We need to dispel the myths, end the stigma, and shine a light on this unseen pandemic. Anxiety is not just an individual issue, it's a societal one, and it's high time we face it head-on. We've spoken with mental health professionals to shed light on these unseen struggles. Anxiety is a complex issue, and its various forms can be even more intricate. According to Dr. Sarah Thompson, a renowned clinical psychologist, anxiety isn't just one-size-fits-all. It manifests in different ways for different people. For some, it might be a constant sense of worry, while for others, it could be intense bouts of fear or panic. Dr. Thompson's insights highlight the multifaceted nature of anxiety. It's not just about feeling stressed or nervous. It's about experiencing these feelings on an intense level, often without a clear cause or reason, and this is what makes it such a challenge for those who suffer from it. Another expert we've spoken to, Dr. James Peterson, a leading psychiatrist, emphasizes the importance of seeking help. A lot of people with anxiety suffer in silence, he says. They might feel like they're overreacting or they might be afraid of being judged. But it's crucial to remember that it's okay to seek help. In fact, it's one of the most important steps you can take. Dr. Peterson's words serve as a reminder that anxiety is not a sign of weakness or a character flaw. It's a serious mental health issue that deserves attention, understanding, and care. We've also heard from Dr. Lisa Foster, a licensed therapist who specializes in anxiety disorders. She notes, understanding anxiety is the first step. Knowing what it is, how it affects you, and what can trigger it, can help you in managing it more effectively. It's not about eliminating anxiety completely, but about learning how to cope with it. The insights from these professionals emphasize the importance of understanding and addressing anxiety. They remind us that anxiety is not something to be ashamed of, but something that can be managed with the right knowledge and support. As our experts have expressed, understanding anxiety is the first step towards conquering it. Anxiety isn't a one-size-fits-all label. It comes in various forms and affects everyone differently. Let's delve deeper into the labyrinth of anxiety disorders to understand them better. First, we have generalized anxiety disorder, or GAD. This is characterized by chronic anxiety, exaggerated worry, and tension, even when there is little or nothing to provoke it. Imagine feeling a constant undercurrent of worry, like a background noise that never quite fades away. It's like waking up each day with a sense of dread, even when everything seems perfectly fine on the surface. Next, let's talk about panic disorder. This is marked by recurrent, unexpected panic attacks, which are sudden periods of intense fear that may include palpitations, pounding heart, or accelerated heart rate. These panic attacks can feel like you're losing control or even having a heart attack. They can strike out of the blue, turning an ordinary day into a whirlwind of fear and confusion. Lastly, there's social anxiety disorder. This is an intense fear of social or performance situations in which the person anticipates feeling embarrassed, judged, rejected, or fearful of offending others. Picture yourself dreading every social interaction, from casual conversations to public speaking. It's like living with an inner critic that's always ready to point out your flaws and mistakes. It's important to note that these are just a few of the many forms anxiety can take. There are others like separation anxiety disorder, specific phobias, and agoraphobia. Each type of anxiety disorder has its unique features, but they all revolve around a central theme of excessive, irrational fear and dread. Understanding the different types of anxiety disorders is not just about labeling or categorizing. It's about acknowledging the diverse experiences of those living with anxiety. It's about paving the way for empathy, support, and effective treatment. Recognizing the type of anxiety is crucial to finding the right coping strategies. So let's continue our journey to better understand anxiety and, in doing so, conquer our worries. The road to recovery begins with knowledge. Anxiety isn't simply feeling nervous. It's a complex interplay of brain chemistry, genetics, and environmental factors. Let's delve deeper into this intricate dance to better comprehend what's really happening when anxiety kicks in. First, let's talk about the biological side. Anxiety is closely linked to our body's stress response system. Imagine coming face to face with a ferocious lion. Your heart would start racing, your palms would sweat, and you'd be ready to either fight or flee. That's your body's way of preparing you for danger. Now, in anxiety, this system kicks into overdrive even when there's no actual threat. So what triggers this? Well, it's all about brain chemistry. Your brain communicates using chemicals called neurotransmitters. Some of these, like serotonin and dopamine, help us feel good. Others, like cortisol and adrenaline, prepare us for danger. In a person with anxiety, the balance of these chemicals can be off, leading to an overactive stress response. Now let's consider genetics. Research suggests that anxiety can run in families. There are likely many genes involved, each contributing a small amount to the risk of developing anxiety. In short, if your parents or grandparents had anxiety, you might be more likely to experience it too. Environmental factors also play a significant role. Stressful life events, such as a traumatic experience, can trigger anxiety. So can ongoing stress like work-related pressure or relationship troubles. Lastly, let's touch upon the psychological aspect. Certain thought patterns can contribute to anxiety. For instance, if you tend to expect the worst or overthink situations, you might be more prone to anxiety. This is why cognitive behavioral therapy, which helps people change these thought patterns, is often an effective treatment for anxiety. So, there you have it. Anxiety, in essence, is a complex dance between your body, your genes, your environment, and your thoughts. It's not simply all in your head, nor is it something you can snap out of. Understanding the science behind anxiety can help us find more effective ways to manage it. We've gathered some expert-approved strategies to help you conquer your worries. First, let's talk about cognitive behavioral therapy, often abbreviated as CBT. This is a common type of talk therapy, where you work with a mental health counselor in a structured way, attending a limited number of sessions. CBT helps you become aware of inaccurate or negative thinking, so you can view challenging situations more clearly and respond to them in a more effective way. This can be particularly beneficial if your anxiety is fueled by patterns of overthinking or unhelpful thought loops. Next up, mindfulness. This is a type of meditation where you focus on being intensely aware of what you're sensing and feeling in the moment, without interpretation or judgment. Practicing mindfulness involves breathing methods, guided imagery, and other practices to relax the body and mind and help reduce stress. It's like hitting the pause button on your worries, allowing you to step back and get a fresh perspective. Now let's touch on medication. While it's not the first line of defense, it can be a helpful tool in the fight against anxiety. There are several types of medication that can be used, including antidepressants, anti-anxiety drugs, and beta blockers. However, it's important to remember that medication should always be considered in conjunction with therapy and never as a standalone treatment. Some experts also recommend lifestyle changes such as regular exercise, a healthy diet, and ample sleep as foundational elements in managing anxiety. These changes can boost your mood, provide a distraction from worrying thoughts, and improve your overall sense of well-being. Lastly, don't underestimate the power of a strong support network. Friends, family, and support groups can provide a listening ear, words of encouragement, and the reassurance that you're not alone in your struggle. Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all solution. The key is to find what works best for you. Now that we've equipped you with these strategies, it's time to put them into action. Let's dive into some practical steps you can take every day to implement these strategies and combat anxiety head-on. Firstly, make mindfulness a part of your daily routine. This could be as simple as dedicating 5 minutes each morning to sit quietly and focus on your breath. Or it could involve practicing yoga or meditation. The goal here isn't to empty your mind of thoughts, but rather to observe them without judgment. This helps you to stay grounded in the present moment and prevents you from getting caught up in anxious thoughts about the future or the past. Next, remember to take care of your physical health. Regular exercise, a balanced diet, and sufficient sleep are all crucial for managing anxiety. When your body feels good, it's easier for your mind to follow suit. So, whether it's taking a brisk walk, cooking a nutritious meal, or getting an early night, make sure to prioritize your physical well-being. Additionally, don't be afraid to seek professional help. Therapists and counselors are trained to help you navigate your thoughts and feelings, and they can provide you with valuable tools and techniques to manage your anxiety. Sometimes, just having someone to talk to can make a world of difference. Finally, practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself when you're feeling anxious. Remember that it's okay to have bad days and it's okay to feel overwhelmed sometimes. What matters is that you're taking steps to address your anxiety, no matter how small. These steps may seem simple, but they can make a significant impact on your journey towards a less anxious life. And remember, it's not about achieving perfection, it's about making progress, one day at a time. Remember, conquering anxiety is a journey. Be patient with yourself and celebrate each step towards a worry-free life. Conquering anxiety is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's a journey that takes time, patience, and resilience. Over the course of this video, we have delved deep into the unseen pandemic that is anxiety, unraveling its many layers and complexities. We began by shedding light on the magnitude of the problem, underlining the fact that anxiety is not a personal failing, but rather a widespread issue that affects people from all walks of life. It's an unseen pandemic that is often misunderstood and stigmatized. Then we enlisted the help of experts to provide insight into the nature of anxiety. We learned that it's not just about feeling nervous or worried, but a complicated interplay of thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations. We also discovered the science behind anxiety, how our brains and bodies respond to perceived threats, and how this can spiral into a cycle of worry and fear. But the good news is, we also explored how understanding anxiety is the first step towards conquering it. By recognizing the signs and symptoms, we can better manage our reactions and implement effective coping strategies. We delved into the various tools at our disposal, from cognitive behavioral therapy and mindfulness techniques to lifestyle changes and medication. We also emphasized the importance of patience and self-compassion in this journey. It's okay to have bad days. It's okay to stumble and fall. What matters is that we pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and keep moving forward. And most importantly, we reminded ourselves that we are not alone in this. There are countless others out there grappling with the same fears and worries, and a whole host of resources and support systems available to help us navigate through the storm. As we wrap up, let's hold on to these insights and remember that conquering anxiety is not a destination, but a journey of understanding, of self-compassion, of resilience. Remember, you are not alone in this fight. Together we can conquer anxiety and lead happier, healthier lives.